2021. A copy of the notice was faxed to the North Jersey Herald and News and the Record on the same date. Additionally, a copy of the notice was filed in the office of the Township Clerk on said date. This meeting is being conducted under the circumstances surrounding the COVID-19 health situation. No public will be allowed to attend the meeting in person. A link and a telephone number to join the meeting can be accessed on the Township website at www.lfnj.com. Electronic provisions have been established for the public to participate during the public comment portion of the meeting.
Mrs. Kraus, at this time, please call the roll.
Can you hear me?
Councilmember Kawadi?
Present.
Councilmember Sieber,
Present.
Councilmember Vanchieri?
Present.
Council President Scoba?
Present. Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the following appointments? And this would be for the mayor's recommended that we approve Judge Ernest Ronzanuto for a 3-year term. Julian Mileta, name, for the library host, starting on 5/31/22, and also for Christine Hablitz on the Shade Tree as an alternate member, expiring 12/21/21. I'm sorry, 12/31/21. So I have a motion, please.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Kawadi. Second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Vanchieri. Can everybody hear that clearly? Are we having any issues? Is that everybody's good? Okay. Mrs. Kraus, please call the roll.
Councilmember Hablitz?
Yes.
Councilmember Kawadi?
Yes.
Councilmember Sieber,
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchieri?
Yes.
Council President Scoba?
Yes. Thank you, Mrs. Kraus.
Sure.
Can I have a motion to open the meetings for public comment for all matters?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Vanchieri. Second.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Kawadi. All those in favor of opening to the public for public matters, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed to that motion signify by saying nay. Motion carries. Mrs. Kraus, please read the statement.
Members of the public who desire to provide comment shall raise their virtual hand in the WebEx application. The meeting moderator will cue the members of the public that wish to provide comment, and the council president will recognize them in order. Please give your name and address for the record. Once the process is complete, we will return to the regular order of business.
Thank you. So the floor is now open.
There are no hands raised, Council President.
Okay. Can I have a motion to close to the public?
So moved.
Moved by
Hello?
Councilman Vanchieri. I'm sorry?
Hello,
Yes. Yes.
this is Luis Fernandez.
Okay,
can
Mr.
I-
Fernandez, you have the floor.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I have two questions.
Sure.
Number one, Mr. Mayor, if you recall, just about a year ago, there was a gentleman that came to a meeting, a council meeting, and he was alleging police brutality. Do you recall that meeting?
Yes.
Yeah. I was wondering if you can keep us updated at how things are going.
I'm going to have to defer to the chief on this one at this point because I don't know what the exact present status is of that matter. I do know that there have been no additional charges or allegations made against the township at this point, other than at that council meeting, and I'll defer the rest to the chief at this point.
Mr. Mayor.
Hello? Hello?
Yes.
I can't hear anything.
Okay, you didn't hear that response, Mr. Fernandez?
From the mayor, yes. Is the chief talking? Because I can't hear the chief.
Mayor, you said you're going to defer to the mayor, the chief. I guess you meant Chief Post. Is the chief's going to look into this and get back to Mr. Fernandez? Or you want to comment from the police chief at this point?
Council President?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Fernandez, this is, just so you know, I know you're calling in, so you may not recognize the voice. This is Joe Wenzel, the town attorney. This matter may involve personnel issue, which is confidential, and if it's an investigation, which is ongoing, that's also confidential. So
I understand.
I appreciate the question. I do also remember the comment made by that party. I will,
Okay, good.
if instructed by the council president and by the mayor, I will have a further conversation with Chief Post in a non-public forum to find out if there's any information available that can be released to the public.
Okay, Mr. Wenzel, I just don't want the legal, status. I just want to know what he alleges and what the township alleges. What he claims and what the town claims. The story from both sides of the bench, I guess.
And if I may, Council President,
Go ahead, Mr. Wenzel.
that is the exact type of information I wish to obtain from Chief Post directly offline. So if I'm sure you will remember to bring it up at the next council meeting, and I will try to have that information for you, whatever is public and available at the next council meeting.
All right, that sounds good. It's fair enough.
Mr. Fernandez, your second question, sir?
To be honest with you, I totally forgot. So if I remember next, because I can barely hear you, so I'm concentrated
I'm sorry.
on the sound and everything. So this is a nightmare. So I'm sure I'll remember for the next meeting.
Okay. All right. So
Thank you.
appreciate your comments and your questions, and Mr. Wenzel will get back to you at the next meeting.
All right, sounds good. Fair enough.
Thank you for participating in our meeting this evening. Are there any other public residents or that we have that would like to make any comments or questions?
There are no other hands raised.
Okay. Can I have a motion to close to the public, please?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Vanchery, second.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Hablitz. All those in favor of closing to the public signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed signify by saying nay. The motion carries. Mayor Damiano, you want to talk about the introduction of Ordinance 1392?
Yes, Council President, thank you. I'm talking about the introduction of ordinance number 1392, which is our stop intersection ordinance here in the Township of Little Falls. After much discussion, and this was announced at a public meeting, now it's several months ago, I guess over the summer, there had been meetings that occurred with both the residents of Jacobus Ave, as well as those on Van Pelt in here in Little Falls, regarding the addition of potential speed humps on the streets. One of the more immediate resolutions that the residents on both streets thought might assist in the concerns that they had with vehicle speed and unnecessarily quick driving on some of the streets was the addition of stop signs at a couple of the intersections on the roadway. And this is something that is much easier to accomplish at a far, I would say it's far more cost, or the speed humps are far more cost prohibitive than this. And we are able to easily amend our ordinance to allow for 2 additional stop signs to be added here in town. Those intersections that we are discussing is the intersection of Jacobus and Morningside Circle, making it a 4-way stop in that intersection there, as well as the intersection at Van Pelt and Weaver. There would be an additional stop sign added there for all 4 approaches of that intersection as well. That would create 2 4-way intersections in town, thus slowing traffic or causing another reason for them to slow down the stop sign rather than continuing through the right-of-way that they currently have, hopefully reducing their speeds and allowing our police officers to enforce an additional stop sign if the residents and passerbys do not comply with the sign that is in place. So the ordinance here simply adds 2 intersection stop signs in town here. Again, one being Weaver and Van Pelt, the other being Jacobus and Morningside Circle. So that is what is being amended in Ordinance 1392 here today, and that I am asking the council's consideration in introducing here this evening.
Does the council have any questions or concerns regarding 1392? I know Councilman Vanchery, this was your sort of baby here, so you have any other questions or input?
No, just want to say, thanks, Mayor, for introducing it. After we had the discussions with the residents, this is an immediate thing that we can now add as we explore potentially the speed humps on both streets eventually and possibly in 2021. But I know there was some confusion too, with some residents had reached out. They thought there were a number of other stop signs on the agenda. No, it's just these two streets that we're focused on at this time.
Any other questions or concerns? Mrs. Kraus, read ordinance 1392.
Introduction of ordinance number 1392, an ordinance entitled an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Little Falls in the County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, to amend Chapter 7 on-street regulations, stop intersections of the Code of the Township of Little Falls, with a second reading and public hearing scheduled for February 8th, 2021.
Have a motion to introduce ordinance 1392.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Vanchery. Second. Second by Councilwoman Hablitz. Mrs. Kraus, call the roll on 1392, please.
Councilmember Hablitz?
Yes.
Councilmember Kawadi?
Yes.
Councilmember Sieber,
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery?
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes. Let's move to council discussions. Councilman Kawadi.
Thank you, Council President. I just want to congratulate Judge Franzuto and Mrs. Mileta for their appointments tonight, and Councilwoman Hablitz as well for their appointments. I have a great appreciation for people who volunteer to make our town a better place, and so that applies particularly to Mrs. Mileta. And so I just want to thank her for stepping up and helping out with the library board. And as far as Judge Franzuto, I've known him my whole life, and I know he'll continue to do a great job in that role. As far as the Domestic Violence Prevention Committee goes, we met on Tuesday, and we are going to continue to seek out information that we can share with the public, just to make sure that everybody's awareness is raised on the issue of domestic violence, particularly while we're under different COVID protocols. People are obviously staying home more. So I just want to remind people out there that if there is anyone that you know of that may be in a dangerous situation, reach out, let them know they're not alone, and help them to seek help. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilwoman Hablitz.
Council President. I'd also like to say congratulations to Mrs. Mileta and to Judge Franzuto on your appointments, well deserved. And I'd like to thank you for my appointment to the Shade Tree Commission. That's something that's near and dear to me, just beautifying our wonderful town. So I'd like to thank you. As far as the library, I just wanted to remind everyone that the library is still having curbside pickup, and tomorrow night they actually have a very wonderful program. Hope that some of you will tune in. The library, in conjunction with the Little Falls Historic Society, is having a presentation of the history of Little Falls. It will be virtual at 7 p.m. tomorrow. So hope everyone will check that out. I'm sure it will be very informative to our residents. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilman Vanchery.
Thanks, Council President. First, congratulations to the appointees tonight. Of course, Mrs. Mileta, Judge Franzuto, and our colleague, Councilwoman Hablitz. Looking forward to seeing what the three of them can do to help continue what we're trying to do in town. Just from a Transportation Committee update, we are planning to have our first meeting of the year next week to discuss some ongoing projects. And as I mentioned before, too, Chief Post and I are going to be meeting soon to look at some other possible additional stop signs around town, just as we carve through sort of each section of town to see where we can identify some potential stop signs to put up. That's it for me, Council President.
Thank you. Councilwoman Sieber.
Thank you, Council President. So thank you very much to the work of Councilman Vanchery. One of those stop signs is in my local neighborhood. So it is, I better off for the neighborhood and for the safety of everybody, especially for the children who walk around this area. So glad to see that work getting done. And then just honored to be a part and the chair of the Open Space Committee and looking to bring that group together. As you all know, I'm very active in the town and bringing on new activities and beautifying different parks and areas. So really excited to take on that adventure. So more to come on that. That's it.
Thank you. So, Mayor, I know we have a COVID listed on our website, but recently residents have been contacting me and saying things like, where do I go? What do I do? How do I go about this? So hopefully we can do the best job we can in educating our residents about directing them to what websites are available so they could go on to COVID and get on a list and so that they could get their vaccine. Also, I think is a problem that unfortunately we do have residences that don't have computers to register. And with our library being closed, it poses a little bit of a difficulty. They'll have to ask their friends or family. So I think the library, Mayor, through your office, has to try to figure out a solution for our residents that need a computer to navigate in this world. And also, I know, Mayor, we had, if you would talk about, we had a new business that opened up for dogs, dog grooming, and I think a new eyelash business that also opened up in our town. And if you would also comment, I think the council's concerned with the newspaper, is it called the Passaic Valley Today, that is being skewed. And I know I had to pick up quite a few of them, that maybe we could look at an ordinance through the corporate council, through our council, Mr. Wenzel, to see if we can rectify those lightweight newspapers not ending up where they should end up. So, and also I know one other item, Mayor, that seems like I have a lot of items this evening. I know there's been residents have contacted you and also myself about dedications of trees, and hopefully you could figure out a solution to that. I know Wilmore Park, there's quite a few of those dedications, but I know there's been some discussion in trying to resolve that matter.
Sure. So to start, we're looking at coming up with a townwide policy for the planting of trees in our parks for dedication purposes or memorial purposes. I don't want any particular area. And again, while all of these trees oftentimes help to beautify an area, what we need to avoid is too many trees in too close a proximity where their roots may start causing all of the trees in the area to die. So we want to make sure that we do avoid that. So we do need to come up with a policy that is somewhat uniform across the board to allow for some sort of structure in the planting of these trees for memorial purposes. And I think it's something that hopefully in this month we'll be able to come to some sort of a conclusion on and be able to respond to the individuals who are looking to plant some sort of a tree for a remembrance and get the ball rolling with that and get some additional trees planted in town. Next, you indicated the newspapers throughout town. Yeah, unfortunately, over the years, as many people and many residents have noted to us, one of the biggest concerns that we now get is that the newspaper does not have the same content that it used to. And unfortunately, what that has resulted in a lot of times throughout town is papers sort of not being retrieved or picked up by homeowners, and then them sort of becoming lawn ornaments and eventually making their way to our catch basins, clogging our catch basins, oftentimes causing potential issues. And something that can be discussed, and it's been done in other towns, is the requirement for the Passaic Valley Today to be mailed to residents who are still looking to receive it, rather than it just being simply thrown onto our driveways or yards or similar areas. And this will guarantee that they make it to our mailboxes to read if we're looking to without getting wet, or B, not be left in people's driveways to make their way to catch basins during storms and blown around town. So it is definitely something that we can consider. A number of surrounding towns have done something similar. And I think through council, we'll be able to come up with an ordinance that works for us here in Little Falls. And I'm happy to begin working on that for presentation to the council at one of our upcoming council meetings. You also indicated that there were several businesses through town that recently opened. Yes, there is a new eyelash business that has opened in town, as well as a dog grooming or I should say pet grooming salon right in the middle of Little Falls on Main Street at, I don't know the exact address. I believe it's in the low 50s on Main Street, next to the new 44 Main building, off to the left of that there. So there is a new dog grooming salon there in town that we did a grand opening for recently, and we welcome them to town here and wish them success and luck in their business here in town. The last thing that, Councilman, did I hit all the items that you were looking for me to address?
I had residents contacting those that don't have a computer with our library
Yes.
being closed. How do they access? There's not like a rent a computer place that people could rent a computer, I don't think, to get onto these sites. And even navigating through COVID, if they want to get a COVID test or a vaccine, you have to have a use of a computer.
Yeah, that's a great point. And that might be something that maybe we can help and work with our library to coordinate, even if it's by phone, and the information needed to either order an individual a COVID test or be able to get them internet access so that they can take the test, with the assistance of a webcam as is required for the spit test at home. Another thing that we might be able to do is assist in registering individuals for the vaccine through the library, and that's something that we can also work with the library with. Now, there has also been a lot of, and to continue on COVID here, one of the things that I have continued to do is provide weekly updates regarding the COVID numbers here in town, which make their way out through the email blast as well as through my social media. I will say that I do provide the information almost as soon as I get it. It did come in. Today's numbers for last week, or I should say last week's numbers, came into me just this afternoon today. This afternoon I was a little bit tied up, but I will certainly be preparing this week's report following this meeting so that it can be distributed to the residents. So I do provide the information in those blasts, but one of the misconceptions is that the state is still requiring that only individuals in 1A are being vaccinated at this time. There has been one small exception that started just within the past couple of days, and that is emergency responders have been added. They are a 1B category, but they have been added to the current list of those eligible for vaccines. So it's healthcare workers, those in nursing, assisted living facilities and nursing homes. And now that includes emergency responders, police, fire, and EMTs had always been in there, but police and fire have now been added. So while there is certainly a craze to sign up to get the vaccination, which I can certainly appreciate, and I hope everyone is doing, just because it's open doesn't mean that anybody is able to get it. Now, we have all heard the stories that, well, I know a guy or I know a gal who got the vaccine and they are a whatever profession it may be. Now, that may very well be true. That may be in violation of what the state's actually allowing, and they may have provided misinformation to the vaccine site in order to get it. That may be the case. I'm not saying it always is, because I've also understood that as soon as they open a vial, that there are, and this could be inaccurate as well, but it's my understanding that once they open a vial, there are 10 vaccines that are to be provided from that single vial, and they look to distribute all 10 of them. So if only 7 people show up for that last dose that they scheduled 10 for, maybe those 3 other people, rather than wasting the vaccine, maybe they weren't in the 1A group or in the eligible 1B, but because they were there, they were able to receive the vaccine. So again, I just want to be clear that we are getting the information out to the public as soon as it is available. I asked the health department, and I'm expecting some additional information about signing up for the vaccine. The Clifton Health Department, who services us here in Little Falls, is running a site every single Wednesday. They're giving the vaccine to 300 to 400 people a week out of there. Montclair State University will also have a site that Little Falls residents will find convenient. And again, once it's open to the general public and all of us, we'll be able to use Montclair State University, where the Passaic County will be offering the vaccine several days per week, and people will be able to enroll online and get their vaccination there. So we are working to get the information out as quick as possible. I've heard that, well, some counties are distributing this information faster than Passaic County. Again, some of those counties are also providing the vaccine to anybody who walks up in violation of what the state is actually authorizing health departments to do. So again, is one county running smoother than another? Is one, I don't know. I can't say that definitively. What I do know is that as soon as information becomes available, it's being distributed, and I would encourage all residents to sign up for our email blasts. If you know someone who doesn't have access to a computer, offer to help to sign them up if you can, or provide them with the phone number. Again, hopefully soon we'll be able to work with the library to have the library assist in signing up all of these residents. So there are a lot of wheels in motion here. Again, this is all relatively new. The state still does not have its system up and running as of about an hour ago when I spoke to the health department. So all of these individuals are looking to, so all of these individuals I should say all of these health departments are running sort of their own internal systems. And Councilwoman Sieber just provided the phone number for the telephone line to the vaccine hotline through Passaic County. For anyone that's looking to get it, only has access to a phone, it's 973-881-2790. That number has been put into the chat for anyone who is on this WebEx call and can see that. So please, again, feel free to enroll for or sign up for the vaccine and get yourself online to receive it when it's available. Again, this week's update will be forthcoming in relatively short order. I can provide just a very quick update right now that there were an additional 59 COVID-19 cases in the township last week for a now total of 616 cases. And we unfortunately announced the death of an additional 69-year-old male in town, which brings us now to 9 COVID-19 related deaths in the township. Again, this information will be coming out in the update that will be forthcoming.
Mayor, you have anything else you'd like to add to this evening's meeting?
Simply that I would like to congratulate Judge Franzuto on his appointment and continued time here sitting as the Little Falls Municipal Judge. He has done an outstanding job for us here in Little Falls over his first full 3-year term, and 1 year prior to that, filling the unexpired term of our prior judge here in town. And I would also like to congratulate Julianne Maleta on her appointment to the library board this evening. I know that the direction of the library is headed in a very bright direction, and I look forward to them continuing to serve our community.
And I gather, Mayor, you'll try to get that hotline number on the website as soon as possible. That was supplied by Councilmember Sieber.
We can certainly get that number on the website as well.
Does the council have any questions or concerns that they'd like to discuss tonight with the mayor?
Council President, I had 2 questions for the mayor.
Go ahead through the chair, Council.
Mayor, one thing to consider, as you mentioned before, as Council President Scoba alluded to, some residents don't have access to a computer. And I know with the library situation, not sure when that's going to be able to open. If we can't coordinate with them, could we look into potentially maybe setting up a kiosk, maybe out, not inside town hall, but maybe by the police station in that open area, and we could have directions sort of printed out next to it. So if residents needed to go somewhere safe and secure to put their information in there, at least that's another option if the library, can't accommodate them based on them not being open at this point.
I think the simple solution is if you don't have access to the internet, use the hotline and call it,
Okay.
rather than go to an area that a number of other people will be using. I think doing it by phone is the best solution that there is right now, because you're not putting anyone at risk by doing that. Again, if there are issues with testing and needing the ability to have some sort of an electronic device, that's something that we can discuss. But unfortunately, oftentimes the number of people that are testing because they're symptomatic or have issues. So I don't know that I want a number of people that have symptoms and are testing for the reason of feeling ill to be congregating in an area, especially near our police department, which could put our officers there at risk. So I wouldn't want to do that to our library either. So finding some sort of a solution, maybe it is an electronic device that can be lent out for very, very short periods of time and for purposes of testing, might be a solution. But again, that's something that we need to work with the library on.
Your second concern, Councilman?
As you just discussed, and Councilwoman Sieber also provided the information, maybe when the next stages start to begin, it might be worth maybe having the Clifton Board of Health and maybe representatives with you to do a town hall to explain that process and go over like what the next level after 1A and 1B is and how it works to help some residents who are looking for information. Because like you said before, every county is different in terms of how they're sharing things. And, you know, if there's an opportunity for us to, you know, bring in the resources that can address a lot of questions or concerns, we should definitely look into it.
Yeah, we can do something like that.
I want to thank the staff, Mr. Kusha and Mrs. Kraus, for putting this, working on our first WebEx meeting. Thank you. I think it went off very well. At this point, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Cherry, second.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Sieber. All those in favor of adjourning this meeting signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed signify by saying nay. This meeting is now closed. Thank you, everyone, for attending.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.